Hello, Umut here. Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to work on my Moleskine art journal and use my infusions by Paper Artsy. I'm going to use these infusions, which are powder pigments and gives amazing colors, with matte medium instead of water. You can activate them with water as well. They will give a watercolor look with amazing vibrant colors. But you can also use matte medium if you want more control and mix the colors as you wish. That's what I'm going to do today. You will see the colors I'm using on the screen while I'm using them, so don't worry, and you will find a list of supplies down below at the description area as much as I can find them. Let's talk a little bit more about infusions. They are by Paper Artsy. It's a company based in UK. And I really love these powder pigments. There are a lot in the market, but these have a walnut stain in all of them, so it gives a vintage look to the colors, and it creates amazing effects that you wouldn't expect, as you see on the screen. That's why I really love using these infusions. Today I'm going to create a green scenery, so I'm using these two green colors, and I am applying it generously over the two pages with my brush and matte medium. I'm just sprinkling a little bit and then spreading the color, activating the color with matte medium. This way, when I use matte medium, they will be also sealed, so they won't move with any other medium that I put on top. That's another advantage. If you activate them with water, you will have to seal them if you want to do something on top, because otherwise it will smudge and smear, because it activates with water mediums. When I am happy with it, I'm just drying it with my heat gun. And now I will do something here to create another effect. Remember, I left the page before empty. I want to create some mushroom foresty feeling. So I'm going to tear my pages to create another effect. I love doing this because it creates a surprise for the person who's looking at the journal. And I'm sure some of you are gasping that I'm tearing my pages, but it will be okay, don't worry. I'll just create some contrast with colors to create an interesting scene. So I'm just tearing these middle parts, and you will see what I will do now. For this you need to leave the pages empty before and after, which I always do, because then I have options. I'm going to use some yellowy colors to create the contrast with the green at the background. So again, I'm using my infusions with matte medium, and you will see that at the back it will be yellow, a dark yellow, and then at the front it will be green. I'll stick the pages back, and it will have a nice contrast. Now I'm going to stick these pages back, and we have a nice interesting look. I'm going to have these mushrooms stamped. These are from Lavinia stamps. If you visit their website, they have many mushroom designs which are very cute, and I'm going to use this stamping platform today because I'm not sure if I will have a good image at first. So I want to be able to stamp several times. I only have a little platform. There are bigger ones too, but I don't think I need them. I'm using my Archival ink in black, and actually I had a very good impression, so I don't need to do it again. And I will continue to stamp my mushrooms. Now it's time to color my mushrooms. I will be a little bit traditional and go with red. Also, the color again goes very well with the background colors. It will pop. That's why I chose red as well. I'm using my Prismacolor pencils, and I will not cut this part this time. Normally I would cut it because it might be boring for some of you, but I had requests not to cut it. So excuse me, if you want to watch it, here it is. If you don't, please fast forward to the next stage. I chose one light and one dark color of red and my white Prismacolor to blend. And with colored pencils, especially Prismacolors, because they are wax based, you need to layer them slowly. I am very light with my hand, and I layer them because then you can have your dark parts and shadows and light parts. That's what makes the image more realistic. And if your hand is very heavy and you use it very hardly on the paper, the wax will come out and you won't be able to layer and use another color on top. I hope I could explain, but the secret in good coloring with pencils is a lot of layers. And I'm using some beige and mushroom colors on the trunk of the mushrooms. Again, I'm blending with my white and also creating the light parts, sort of. So I colored all these mushrooms and I placed them more or less with the organization that I want. These stamps I have from years ago. They are grass stamps, little grass stamps. And I don't know where it came from or what's the brand, so apologize, I won't be able to give any links, but there are a lot of bushes, grass stamps out in the market. If you Google, you will find, I'm sure. I'm using my Archival ink again in green to just stamp them as the grass before I stick my mushrooms. I was going through my stash and I found this Paper Artsy stamp as well. I liked the sentiment, so I will take it from here and I will use a couple more pieces from here. These leaves I liked, so I'm using them with I'm going to stamp them with paint because I will stamp yellow over green. If I use ink is transparent, it won't stamp. And I'm just using this sponge and my yellow color acrylic paint from Liquitex. It's heavy body, so it's more appropriate to use on a stamp. And I'm not sure if it reflects very well on the camera, but it looks quite vibrant and nice. I will just stamp it on the top as if it's coming from a tree or something. And what I am trying to do all this process is to balance the colors. I didn't color the windows of the mushrooms as well, just to see afterwards if I need to balance any colors. So I'm going slowly. All the main colors are green, yellow and red. And I pulled out these mini mushrooms from my stash again. Probably they are again from Lavinia. And I'm going to stamp them again with acrylic paint and using red. So slowly I'm building my scenery, and you will see stage by stage all I am doing is trying to create a nice scenery and balance these three colors. If you choose a few colors from the beginning and try to balance them slowly as you go, you can't really go wrong because it will all match. So now I am sticking my mushrooms after I know the scenery, and I'm really happy with them. Again, I will color the windows after I know exactly what color I want them. I found these little dots stamp, and I'm using the same red to stamp here and there. Again, this is all for color coordination and the balance on the page. So I didn't do splashes at this stage, but I'm using this stamp to have some interest as well. And I'm using acrylic paints. So now it's time to stamp the sentiment. I used my black Archival ink and just stamped it. And eventually the windows I decided to do green, and I'm using my gel pen. It was just under my hand, and I am underlining the sentiment with this tool and dropping a few dots here and there again to balance. Finally, I decided to do some splashes with this yellow just over the green areas, again to have cohesiveness with all these three colors. And as you see, these ripped parts of the pages are white. I don't want them white, so I will just ink them with my distress ink, fossilized amber, and I will stick them again with my matte medium. Now these are details. I'm using my Faber-Castell Pit Brush markers to give even darker shadowing to my mushrooms. I wasn't quite happy with the contrast, so since I used paints or matte medium over these, it's very easy for me to do this because the surface became non-porous. If it was all empty, I couldn't manipulate these pens at all. And I'm using a darker yellow just to give the shadows around the mushrooms so that they don't look like they are sticked on the page. Finally, we came to the white dots on the mushrooms. I'm using my Nuvo crystal drops in white just to have these dots 3D. It will give a nice effect and interest. So I chose to do it like this. If you don't have this, you can use white gel pen, I don't know, anything, even gesso, acrylic paint, to give this bright white effect. And now that I have this bright white popping out of the page, I need to balance again. So I'm going to make some dots again all over the page just to have cohesiveness. I'm just doing it like this. You can choose other ways to have this white. And the page is finished. I really like it. I love mushrooms. So this is my little magic mushroom forest in my head. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot when I was creating it. If you like my videos, please don't forget to hit the like button or subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You will find the pictures at the end of the video as always, and the supply list down below at the description area. Thanks a lot for watching and see you next time.